Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 6 of CO Sports Talk. We just had an exciting All Star weekend or All Star day. And yeah, so we're going to talk about the All Star festivities, talk a little NFL trade action and talk a little March Madness. And we got a special guest coming on today. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So we're joined here by our special guest, Tommy Butler,
Hey,
Palace
thanks for
Star
having me.
quarterback. So
Hey, thanks
welcome
for
on,
having me.
Tommy. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. It's fun to talk sports. I love sports.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna talk a little NBA All Star weekend, or it was just today, Sunday, March 7th. And so we started off with the skills competition. We got a lot of very skilled players. Only one non-All Star, which was Robert Covington, and they chose him because he went to a HBCU, which where they were honoring all night. So, what do you guys see out of the skills competition? I'll start with you, Casey.
The big men seem to kind of dominate this one. Sabonis and Vucevic made the finals, and they beat Chris Paul and Doncic, or whatever his name is. So they they balled out actually, and it's been the case for the last couple of years. I remember Jokic won last year. Tatum did win a couple of years back. He's a wing, so it's kind of a mixed size. But the big men seem to dominate it, and I don't really know why because it's kind of a dribbling and shooting thing. But they're really good at the passing. Sabonis didn't miss a single pass. He made them all into the net, and he made Doncic look like a casual tonight.
Yeah, same thing Casey said. It's always weird how the big guys win it, but they just seem to pull it off somehow. And it's always surprising, and it just we've got to start getting used to that.
Yeah, you would think the guards would win it like every time, right? They're faster. They got usually better playmaking skills. Do you think they would hit the pass more often? And then they're obviously better shooters more times than not. But yeah, we see the big man theme over and over again. And this time it was Sabonis, who was the runner up last year. So good for
Yeah.
Sabonis. Vucevic came second. We'll see if he can redeem himself next year. And yeah, Chris Paul has not been great in the years he's been in the skill competition.
I
Yeah,
think
missed
we need a
that
little.
layup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. I think we need a little change maybe to the skills competition. It's a little short, a little repetitive. I don't know. Maybe they should change a little bit of it
Hey,
up.
I'd like to see that too. How they added the Mountain Dew ball to the 3-point contest. I'd like to see them do something like that to
Maybe
skills
change it up a little
competition.
bit. But people aren't really watching the skills competition. It's just a nice warm up to get into the swing of things.
Most definitely.
All right. So after that, right before the game, we had 3-point competition. Um, and yeah, Stephen Curry won this one. It came down to the wire. He got a game winner to beat Mike Conley of Utah Jazz. Shout out to Mike Conley, by the way, first time All Star. Jazz are
Yes.
doing great things. Tommy, you're a fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge Jazz fan, and you love to see three of your guys going to the All Star game. So, um, big hopes for the Utah Jazz this year.
Yes, sir.
The
So
Jazz were disrespected in the first place with
They're
Nick
getting
LeBron.
disrespected, but they're all on a mission to prove the haters wrong.
yeah,
True.
let's see if they
Just
can prove
go
people wrong as the season goes on. But yeah, so the first round was a little something like this. Jalen Brown finished with 17 points. Tatum with 25. Zach Levine with 22. Mike Conley with 28. Donovan Mitchell with 22 as well, and Curry with 31, who put on an amazing performance. It seemed like he didn't miss a shot besides the first two. So yeah, that first round was kind of nuts.
Well, yeah, that was a nuts. Curry went 3 for 4 from the Mountain Dew balls, and those were all huge. So that's a great stat line for him.
Yeah, those Mountain Dew balls are really clutch because they give you 3 points, and Curry 3 for 4 is clutch. It would have been nice to get a bit more competition. He was playing with a lot of guys like Jalen Brown isn't even a 3 point guy first. Zach Levine has himself a little bit of a sniper, but we saw what he can do on the dunk contest. So Mitchell was his main. Conley impressed me. Utah Jazz players we talked about. He's kind of reviving his career a little bit. Well, he had a good career, but then kind of fell back a couple years, and now he's kind of back. So it's good to see him doing well. But Curry very clutch. We saw this last year with Buddy Hield. If he missed it, Conley won. If he made it, Curry won the whole thing, and he made it. So just clutch performance by Steph.
Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing the Steph Devin Booker matchup, but since Devin
Yeah,
Booker went out with that injury, Conley came in, and Conley didn't disappoint. He didn't do much worse than Devin Booker would have done. So yeah, Devin Booker obviously a former 3-point contest winner, but I think Conley did a nice job stepping right into his shoes for sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so Tatum and Conley and Steph moved on to the finals, where Tatum got 17, Conley 27, Steph 28. So yeah, as we mentioned, Steph hit that game winner at the very end, which was really exciting to see. And I'm happy for Steph. And what do you guys think about this? So I saw on Twitter that people were questioning Steph's legacy as a shooter because of the subpar competition. Like if he lost it, that just seems ridiculous to me. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of stupid. The question. It's not like he can control who's in it,
Yeah.
and he has not won it every single time. I mean, Clay beat him out, but that's his teammate, but he's always competed. Curry's always been in the finals. I mean, Joe Harris beat him out 2 years ago, but I mean, he's just a beast. He's the best shooter of all time. I mean, Ray Allen second, but Curry's the best shooter of all time, no question. And he can't control that. That's just LeBron phobes or whatever. LeBron sexuals like backing up LeBron, trying to hate on Curry. But yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Curry's the best shooter of all time. There's no question about that. Whether he wins the skill point, whether he wins the 3-point challenges or loses them, it's not going to mess with some of the crazy 3-point stat lines that he has. You know, his field goal percentage for 3-points always crazy every year. It's always like one of the highest, and he's always got the most made threes every year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the regular season and the 3-point contest are very different things, and yeah, just a lot different. So then now we got into the main event, which is always fun to watch, the All-Star game. We had Team LeBron versus Team Kevin Durant, and it wasn't the most exciting game. So there was a lot of injuries, a lot of health and safety protocol issues. Embiid and Simmons missed the All-Star game because their barber had COVID, which was kind of funny. Devin Booker missed it, Anthony Davis missed it. And it was kind of unfortunate for Team KD because Devin Booker was his second pick in the reserve round, and then it kind of got downgraded to Mike Conley, and he could have used that pick somewhere else if he'd known. So kind of unfortunate, but yeah. And so, what do you guys think of the game as a whole?
Great. I thought it was a great game performance. But one thing I do have to say, a criticism, some feedback is I really dislike the whole first one to this loses or wins. Like set it at the start if you're gonna do it, because I don't understand like the point of the who wins quarters when that doesn't even end up mattering.
Yeah.
I really was excited just to watch the normal thing because Team LeBron was on pace to get 200 points the whole time. They had 50, then 100, and then 150. So they had 150 after the third quarter. So if they just scored 50 points, which they were on pace to do, they could have been the first also team to get 200 points in a game, which would have been awesome. But it was cool seeing Steph and Lillard just trading half-court shots. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about. But Curry's son did end up getting the game winner.
What do you think about it, Tommy?
Steph Curry was putting on a show for us. Same with Damian Lillard. I love seeing Zion Williamson showing off his talents, always getting some slams down. Love seeing my Utah Jazz players out there.
Yeah.
Overall, great game. Fun to watch these games because you see the athleticism come out with some weak defense, which you gotta love.
Yeah, I felt like Giannis was kind of try-harding. Like you could tell he kind of wanted that MVP a little too much. Yes, but he didn't miss a shot, so props to Giannis. And then, but during the halftime, we got the dunk contest, which is weird because we usually have the skills contest, the skills competition, 3-point contest, and dunk contest all before the game. But this time, the dunk contest was in the middle instead of a halftime show. So yeah, we had the competitors were Obi Toppin, Anthony Simons, and Cassius Stanley. And
only 3 competitors, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. Terrible too. 3 nobodies. Like at least someone that people know. Like
yeah,
Obi Toppin, he's cool. He's just drafted. Anthony Simons, I mean, didn't even go to college, but that's cool. And who's the last one from the Pacers? It was
Stanley. Yeah, I mean he had a good high school mixtape. He was good at Duke, but I mean he's in the G League. He's a 2-way player. Kind of reminds me of Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah.
A few years back, but now Derrick Jones Jr. is starting on the Portland Trailblazers, so maybe this could boost the career of Cassius Stanley, even though he didn't win and he actually got last place. But yeah.
I think the 3-point contest is kind of like the main event now. I mean, because we had 6 All-Stars in the Robert Covington wasn't in the 3-point contest. So we had 6 All-Stars today in the 3-point contest. I mean, nothing better than seeing 3 All-Stars compete to see who the best shooter in the league is. And then for the halftime show, I mean, for the dunk contest, we see 3 like 2-way players competing. So it's so much more entertaining to see All-Stars and like future Hall of Famers competing than these guys.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of want to see some all-stars in the dunk contest, maybe. I mean, imagine how fun it would be. We touched on this last episode, Casey, but imagine how fun it would be to have Giannis in the dunk contest, like doing windmills and stuff, and Zion, like
I would love to see Zion in the dunk contest. That'd be awesome.
that'd be so sick. So yeah, that wraps up our all-star discussion. So now we will move on to some March Madness talk.
All right, so now moving on to some college basketball talk. Today, the regular season wrapped up for every single school that already wasn't wrapped up, and we're moving on to some postseason play. Best part about college basketball, we've touched on this, is every team has a shot to make March Madness. Doesn't matter if you've lost all your games. If you win your tournament, you're in. Hard to do, but still possible. So, the big three we had last week was Gonzaga, Baylor, and Michigan. But ever since we talked about that, Michigan kind of fell. They lost 2 in a row, lost to Illinois on Thursday, and today, Sunday, they lost to Michigan State. So Baylor beat West Virginia in overtime, and Gonzaga is still undefeated. So what do you guys think about the big three, or is it mainly is it a big four, big five now with Illinois and Iowa?
I think now that now it's a big five probably. With Houston and Iowa, Illinois has done good too.
Yeah.
I think that Gonzaga, in terms of Gonzaga, I think we're gonna see maybe a lot of close games. Maybe make it to the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, probably Final Four too. But I just don't think that they'll. I don't think that the best team always wins either. So
Yeah.
I don't see that Gonzaga wins this tournament.
I mean, yeah, Gonzaga's, obviously they're undefeated, so they're probably the favorites going into. They're going to be the number one overall seed in the tournament. But I mean, they're a well-coached team. They have some star players such as Jalen Suggs, but you never know with what the conference they're in, like really how their strength of schedule is going to translate into March Madness. Are they really going to perform to what they have been showing? So we'll see with Gonzaga, but yeah, I think it's definitely kind of a top five. I think it's kind of up for grabs now. I don't think there's a really clear-cut favorite to win this year.
Yeah, and that's what we love. That makes it a great tournament also. I mean, I like this Iowa team out of all of them with Luka Garza in the paint. And then you got the seniors guys, the leadership of Jordan Bohannon and McCaffrey as guards. So I really like this Iowa team. But, I mean, it's really anyone's game. And then West Virginia, you mentioned them last week, very defensive team under a great coach, Bob Huggins. So they can always compete. And then Alabama out of the SEC. But not talking about the top dogs, do you guys have any sleepers that could be a team that makes it run? Tommy, starting with you.
I gotta go with my boys, the Brigham Young Cougars, baby.
Sure.
We just got acquired a new coach 2 years ago, Coach Pope from Utah Valley. This man led us to last year's season with TJ Haws and Yoli Childs. We would have gone to the tournament if there was one. Sadly, did not. Both of those guys are playing overseas, having a great job.
Yeah.
And we got new guys, young guys, and we had a transfer from I think Purdue, and he's been really helping our team out. And I think you could see us going to the Sweet 16, maybe Elite Eight, and who knows, we can shock some people. So don't sleep on them in your bracket, okay?
Yeah, normally BYU, the winner of the WCC is the only team from that conference that makes the tournament. But this year, even if BYU loses, even if Gonzaga loses, they're going to have two teams because BYU is really strong. And this BYU team, they're the 2 seed in the WCC tournament. I believe they play Pepperdine tomorrow. So maybe we'll see them beat Gonzaga and win the whole WCC. But if not, they're still in. And I would definitely pick them if they're playing someone like Wisconsin in the Sweet 16 or someone. I think they're a very strong, deep team. And for you, Oliver, who do you like this year in March Madness?
I mean, we talked about it a few episodes ago, but I still got to go with Loyola Chicago, man. I mean, Loyola Chicago, they're ranked 20th in the nation. They've already clinched their way to March Madness.
Yeah, won the Missouri Valley today.
Valley Conference, right? So, yeah, I mean, Loyola Chicago, we've seen what they've done before, that magical Final Four run. And I honestly think they can do it again. I mean, why not? College basketball is very strong this year, but I don't see why Loyola Chicago cannot be up there with the big dogs.
Yeah, and some teams I would recommend staying away from is Wisconsin. I just talked about them. They have really struggled. They're 16-10. They started really strong, and they have lost a lot of games recently. Terrible 3-point team. And then the Villanova, they won recently, but they won a couple years ago back with DiVincenzo. They beat Michigan. But this year, I mean, they lost to Butler and they just recently lost to Providence. So I do not think this Villanova team will go far. But
I got Houston on my radar. They're I believe the 9th seed right now. But yeah, I wouldn't sleep on Houston or Baylor or Michigan. Those 3 teams I think are going to all go really far in this tournament. And it's sometimes the refs can screw you over. Sometimes you get an injury, so you can get screwed over. But as long as those teams stay healthy and watch them through the first couple rounds, those teams are going to do really well.
Yeah. Next week on our show, the Selection Sunday, so we'll know the bracket, dissect that whole bracket. That will be interesting. And lastly, out of the SEC, Alabama and Arkansas, 2 teams to pick, and out of the Pac-12. Pac-12 is not the best conference this year, as they seem to be in every sport, but Colorado and USC I would pick as the best 2 teams. But yeah, moving on from college basketball now, we'll talk some NFL.
Moving on to some NFL, J.J. Watt agreed to part ways with the Texans a little bit ago, and he took some time, made a decision, signed a 2-year contract with the Cardinals for $31 million, $23 million guaranteed. So right off the bat, you think the Texans, they lost DeAndre Hopkins, they lost J.J. Watt, and Deshaun Watson wants out of there too. So that franchise is not doing so good. But the Cardinals have basically been stealing these players. And so you got to think that now that division is even more stacked and that Russell Wilson is going to have to go up against J.J. Watt. He's going up against Nick Bosa, and he's going up against Aaron Donald twice a year for each one of those. And so,
rough.
It's tough for Russell Wilson. You got to love Russell Wilson, but these Cardinals, they're going to be scary now. Kyler Murray keeps developing. And so what do you guys have to say about this?
I mean, I think it was honestly not that good of a move by J.J. Watt. I mean, we saw he asked to be released kind of. I mean, he went to the Texans, asked to be released. Don't blame him. Texans is a terrible organization right now. So I don't blame him for that. But signing with the Cardinals is not the best move in my opinion. And I'll start with saying first, he said he wanted to go to a Super Bowl caliber team. I understand. He hasn't had a ring yet. I mean, of course he wants to go to a team that is contenders. So if you want to go to a contender team, why pick Arizona when they just went 8-8 and the teams that were offering him were Cleveland, who's up and coming, the Green Bay Packers, who of course are going to be good, and the Buffalo Bills. I guess it's because the Cardinals were paying him more, but you're already extremely rich, JJ. Might as well take a little bit of a pay cut to go if you really want to win a Super Bowl. And for coaching wise, I mean, in this division, you got the great coach Sean McVay, Pete Carroll, and Kyle Shanahan. And then you got Cliff Kingsbury, who is by far the worst coach in their division. So you're going to be outcoached. You're in the hardest division in football, as we kind of talked about, I personally think. And so I don't think it's the best move, but I mean, who doesn't want to live in Arizona?
That's a great place to live, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even see them finishing top 2 in that division. I'd probably have them finishing 4th just because of how stacked that is. Maybe 3rd. I mean, I don't even know how to order that division. All the teams are so good. It's just it's really tough. We'll see how it plays out. But I agree with Casey. I agree with you 100%. I don't understand the move from JJ Watt. He broke the news via his own Twitter, and he chose the Arizona Cardinals out of all the teams he could have chosen. I mean, I personally would have gone to I would have been fine if he gone to any of those 3 teams that you mentioned, the Bills, Packers, and Steelers. Steelers would have been cool, be with both of his brothers. Packers would just be cool because he's from Wisconsin, local team, and then Bills would be cool just because they're going to be good, and that's a Super Bowl team.
I guess he really wanted the money because the Steelers were offering him, but they wanted him to. They wouldn't give him the money he was demanding, and he really wanted that money. So
I think that living in Arizona probably played a big factor because that's a wonderful place to live, great weather. I think also the connection to DeAndre Hopkins might have been pulling him in. And he tweeted out that he said, I don't think he tweeted it, but he did say that Kyler Murray was a big factor in him going there. So
yeah, he said he believes in Kyler Murray.
He believes in Kyler.
It is a little bit of a downgrade though, quarterback wise. I mean, I don't think Deshaun Watson will stay in Houston, but I mean, Deshaun Watson to Kyler Murray is a downgrade. I mean, Murray is good though, and I think he will be good. But still, I do not think the Arizona Cardinals will win the Super Bowl next year by any means. but I do think they'll be better than 8-8.
Yeah.
So how would you guys rank that division, the NFC West? So I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna go with the my Niners. I don't know if they're gonna be number one, so I'm gonna put them at number two. I'm actually gonna put the Rams at number one because with Matthew Stafford, and he's a great quarterback and he can do some great things. I think this is gonna be a great year for them. Sadly, I love Russell Wilson, but I'm gonna put them at number four.
Wow.
And then I'm actually going to put the Cardinals at number three. So that's mine. What do you guys
I
think?
think it's gonna be. I think I agree with you with the top two. I think go Rams, Niners, and then I would just flip those two. I think it would be go Seahawks, just because they have the advantage coaching wise, and then the Cardinals at four. But it can go any way. Like we said, we could see the Niners finish last again, but healthy, I can't see that happening. We could see the Rams.
I believe the Niners are probably going to draft someone like maybe Caleb Fardy from Virginia Tech or something.
I don't think Casey likes that.
Yeah, just very injury prone. I'm more of a Patrick Surtain guy.
Patrick Surtain. Oh,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Caleb Farley just feels like a Bronco to me. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind it because as a Niners fan, I would love a cornerback. That's our main necessity, I think. You can trade for a quarterback, a QB. I mean, I would be fine trading for Teddy Bridgewater and having him compete with Jimmy Garoppolo and then taking a corner and an interior lineman.
I've also seen rumors of Garoppolo Stephon Gilmore swap. I think that'd be a win-win for both teams. I mean, you would probably have to give us a few picks to get Stephon Gilmore. I don't think they really match up too well, but it gives the Patriots a quarterback, and it gets Niners what they need, which is a lockdown corner. Now that Richard Sherman's probably going to depart. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. But yeah, that's what we got for NFL news today.
All right. Great episode right there. Episode 6 of CO Sports Talk. We are back every week. You heard that. Not every 2 weeks, not every 3 weeks, not one every half week. We're back once a week.
Every week.
Every week. Like,
sir.
we're not BSing around everything. We'll be back every week. Follow our Instagram, CO Sports Talk. The link is in the bio for every episode, and we'll update you on our editing, on our uploading, on everything on the Instagram story.
Yeah.
And
At
Butler, great guest.
_sports_talk. Find us there. And yeah, we'll keep you updated, like Casey said.
Yep. Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Tommy. Hopefully we can do it again sometime. But yeah.
I'd love to.
All right. Peace.
Thank you, guys.